The committee, I'm glad to say, appreciates, and this question is to Professor Lewis, that scrutiny is necessary for Wales-related aspects of this private members' bill. Could you tell us what the risks are of insufficient scrutiny?
Well, because it's a private members' bill, then it won't have gone through the process which a government bill would have gone, which impacts on Wales, of having the discussion between governments as to how this might be sorted out. So it's really important, and I am really grateful to the committee for having a session which focuses, albeit briefly, on Wales. Although this is an England and Wales bill, it is so because certain criminal offences are matters on which the Senedd in Cardiff cannot legislate, and that includes offences which relate to suicide. However, apart from that, the impact of this bill on devolved matters, if it became law, would be substantial on the health service in Wales, on social services in Wales, Welsh society generally. Therefore, it's important that you do take account of that. And indeed, there are certain aspects of this bill which seem to me to require a legislative consent motion to respect the Sewell Convention. Could you
expand somewhat
yes,
on,
well, thank you.
Which
well,
aspects those are?
As I'm sure you're aware, the Parliament here in London can legislate about anything at all, absolutely anything. However, in relation to where the power to legislate is given to the devolved legislatures, then the Sewell Convention states, and it's in the Government of Wales Act, section 176, I think, states that normally the Parliament in London will not legislate with regard to devolved matters. That's what's said. So there are certain aspects of this bill, I can give you detail, very brief detail on that, which, in my opinion, relate to devolved matters. The first one is clause 32. This is a very broad clause which would give the Secretary of State very broad powers for the implementation of the bill within the NHS, including within the NHS in Wales. It seems to me unarguable that that is a matter on which both the Welsh Government ought to be consulted, but also which would require legislative consent from the Senedd. The second is a sort of a cluster of clauses which impose specific functions on the Welsh ministers and on the Chief Medical Officer for Wales. They're clauses 31, 33 and 34. Once more, from a formal perspective, those seem to require a legislative consent motion. So some thought needs to be given as to how that might happen in the context of a private member's bill.